And we're live. Oh, looking all good. And we're live.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Swagnificent One with my main man, Trenell Foster. Tell him what's up.
Yes,
What's up?
sir.
Introduce
Hey,
yourself,
what's
brother.
up? What's up? This Trenell Foster in the building. If you don't know me, director, writer, owner of Black Monolith Films, independent film company in San Diego. Also owner and writer for Black Monolith Comics. So we got stuff in the works. We're gonna talk about it today. Let's get into it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. See. Also, I got to do my intro. Here we go. This is the In Your Face show. All right, there we go. There we go. I had to do that. I had to do that little smooth, smooth, smooth. Yeah, I mean, I had to do that. But anyway, so brother man, so what you got for us today?
Man, just been on the grind. I started off as a recording artist and was doing music. Basically, that started off at about 2001 when I got signed to my first independent record deal. That was on in a record label in San Diego, independent label in San Diego, called Low Bottom Records. Shout out to anyone and everyone who remembers that out here. There's a few people out here that might still recognize the name, but I got my start there, putting out mixtapes, albums. I was hip hop, rap recording artist. I did that for a number of years before I transitioned into doing basically kind of like what you're doing now. Was doing
Mm-hmm.
a internet TV radio show called New City Radio on DagoSD.com. Um, Shout out to the homie Crimes. He's the one that got me the plug on that. Looked out, he was looking out for me in the beginning when I came to him and had the idea, and so he got me the plug. I was able to do 3 successful seasons on that show, which gave me a lot more stability because I was meeting different entertainers, interviewing them on the show, be it major or up and coming individuals within the city. And this went from actors, musicians, models, DJs. We had athletes, all sorts of people on the show. And so that really gave me a little bit more basis and understanding of how that end of the industry worked. And
Right.
so um, after taking a break from the show and getting back into a little bit more of the music, I decided, man, I enjoy writing, I enjoy story creating, and I have all these different ideas. What will be the best way for me to do that? And I was like, man, how can I break into films? I've directed music videos. I was directing my radio show. How can I get into that? And then after doing some research and really pounding the pavement as far as looking at things I wanted to do that major people were doing, and then figuring out how they did it without going to school. Because I didn't go to film school or anything like that. I went to films, and I watched the films I liked. I studied them,
Okay.
and then I would say, okay, man, how can I emulate that? How can I duplicate that shot? How can I get these special effects done and everything? And then just the learning process and the mentors you pick up along the way, which are helpful. A lot of people they don't really look at mentors. They don't really, you don't see too many people that have them. But having a mentor, and not just a mentor that is independent filmmaker like yourself. I mean, or yeah, that's cool. You have colleagues in your area or in your realm that you work with, but like I was told by my mentors, you can never get help from someone who's in the same boat as you. Whoever's going to help you is going to be in a ship. They're going to pull up
Right.
alongside that little boat and get you up out of there.
Right.
So
Understandable.
I gotta look at people who are in the industry who are already making that money, because those are the individuals who are going to be more than likely to steer me in the right direction to get to the point where they're at, because they were already there. So in my process of doing that, one of my friends, he ended up hiring me to do some footage for an MMA fight. This was about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and it was at the Harley Davidson Motorcycle Center down here in our city. So I went down there to film it, and then he was like, "Hey, I want to introduce you to somebody." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I go over, and it's a little old guy sitting there, and he's like, "Hey, this is John. I want to introduce you. Like, hey, this is Trenell. Um, he's an independent film director coming up." And he's like, "I thought you guys might be able to talk." And I'm not knowing really who this guy is initially. And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So talking for a minute, he's like, "Hey, I'm a film director as well." And I'm like, "Yeah, what have you worked on?" And he's like, "Have you ever heard of a film came out a few years ago um, called The Glimmer Man? It has Steven Seagal and Keenan Ivory Wayans in it." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I directed that." I'm like, "Seriously?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah." He brings out his phone, got pictures and everything. And I'm like, "Oh shit, okay, okay." And then he's like, "Yeah." And then, you ever heard of the show on ABC called The Ghost Whisperer? And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I produced that. I wrote for that." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, really?" And he's like, "Yeah, my name is John Gray." And so we shook hands and everything and started talking. And then from that moment, it's kind of like he kind of took me under his wing, and kind of it was giving me tips, giving me pointers, giving me just the little things I might need to help myself from the director standpoint. And
Right.
then when it came to the scripts and everything, I did a lot of reading of script writing um, tools and tips. I mean, there's a lot of different ones. I don't really swear by just one. Some people say, "Oh, read Save the Cat, do this, do that." There's a lot of different there's a lot of different books and things on YouTube and all sorts of things you can do to figure out ways to screenwrite. But the best thing I've learned is to look at other scripts that you like. If you want to write superhero genre and superhero fantasy, you need to find a script that involves superheroes, whether it's Avengers or X-Men or whatever, and see if you can get your hand on those scripts, which you can find online. A lot of them can be found online. Um, and look at the way the script is formatted, the way the script is set up, how they write the characters, how they write the scene. And then you're
Right.
able to take that and use it in your creation, and you're able to format your script. And that goes for everything from comic books to films, even people who do music. They're listening to music, they're seeing how he formulates his bars, and they're figuring out how to formulate their bars in a similar fashion as they're learning how to
Right.
count. Because a lot of people, they know a verse of 16 bars, but you say count it, and they're like, So it's like people learn that way by hearing it and by seeing it. So the same way goes for individuals doing film, screenplay writing, script writing. If you're writing just a stage play or whatever, get your hands on a script. When I first started with um, a superhero show I was working on called The Enhanced, I was watching a lot of the superhero shows on the CW network with Arrow and Flash and everything, just because I was trying to develop a series and I wanted to know how the series was built, how they connected the episodes, how they formulated and developed the characters. And what I did was watch the show, seeing when the show was going off, they have the credits, seeing who the editor was, who the individuals who wrote the script. Then I would Google their names and then find information out. And they always be, "Oh, you can contact the studio and care of this person or whatever." Then I would email the studio asking, "Oh, is it okay?" Well, first I would explain who I was. And then I would ask, "Is it okay if there's a script you could send me? Not anything recent that you're working on, an old script from a past season." And then if they're lucky enough, after a few times of asking, they sent me a script from season one of the Arrow show, and I was able to take that script, and that helped me build every other script I've ever written because I know the format and everything. And so, learning your formatting and everything will make you a stronger writer, will make you um, more, if you're new to the game, it'll make you more believable that you are a writer and that you know what you're doing and that you can get work, because people will look at your script and be like, oh, it's not formatted correctly. Dude must not know what he's doing, or she must not know what he's doing. The same way um, with people who are writing and they have been doing it for a while. If everything is not formatted correctly for the individuals in the industry, especially if you're trying to sell your script. Now if it's just you're writing it for yourself and everything, that's on you. However you want the script to look, that's on you. But if you're an individual like a lot of others who are trying to sell their script and trying to get into the industry and be mainstream, everything's got to be right. To formatting, it's got to be submitted through final draft. It's got to be, you need to have everything to make it submittable. So,
Right.
it's a process, and it's not an easy one. There's a lot of different things different individuals like to do. You want to copyright your script. Some people want to join the Screenwriters Guild. There's many different things that you can do, but it just depends on where you're trying to go with your career and how far you're trying to take it.
Right. 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 Right.
Um, yeah, so with me, it's just been from the films and trying to figure out, okay, man, where else can I go? I've always been into comic books. I've always read comic books and enjoyed the stories there. Um, with no disrespect to DC, I like DC as well. I started learning my script writing for film work and everything through the DC show Arrow, but Marvel has been where I started reading my comic books originally. Um, Getting into that world that Marvel created with their heroes and with the Avengers and um, Ghost Rider and Moon Knight and just the various world they created with the different characters. I started getting into that at a young age, and I never, young being in a young age, I never thought like, man, I could, write a book or, you know, have a book created. I thought that was uh, something you went through college and you did all this other kind of stuff for, and you're lucky to get hired to do that kind of thing. I wasn't aware at that time that individuals are doing this at their home, and they're putting out work and they're getting picked up. So growing up and then realizing that, I was like, man, it is possible to create a book, but I just wanted to create a story that I felt was different and um, interesting, but also, with everything coming out, I mean, there's not too many things you can come out with that it hasn't really come out with, hasn't been came out with yet, but having a different spin to it that makes it interesting. For people to say, okay, yeah, this guy might be killing people like the last guy was, but his reasoning for doing it is different, or his motivation is different, or the type of villain that he's going after is better than the last one, or whatever the situation is. Trying to figure out what the story was that I wanted to create. Starting with Daywalkers, which also is there's a pilot episode for that series on Amazon Prime Video. If you search my name, Trenell Foster, for all those who have Amazon Prime Video, you'll be able to find it there. Daywalkers is a pilot episode. We're also in the works with a book, um, which will kind of chronicle or kind of follow the show, but more so fill in the gaps in between what you're missing in the show and kind of like the backstory and the history that the show doesn't really go into right away. Um, we have that in the works right now. If you have Amazon Kindle, you can check out Calm Before the Storm, written by myself and a good friend of mine, Keith Harris, and illustrated. All the artwork and everything is done by Kurt Wilson. Um, that book is basically tells the story of Stormy Rains and her search for her place as she learns of these powers that she has and how to control them, as well as the search for her family. And the kind of backstory is um, this universe that Stormy and her family live in is created of magic, and it's created of this magic from this source known as the Nexus, and the Nexus created life and planet and different universes, realities, and everything, and seeded these universes and worlds with life to combat this dark energy known as the dark magic or the infinite darkness from taking over the whole universe. And in doing so, she had to create the Nexus had to create protectors who will protect these various life from the infinite darkness encroaching on it and keep it away. And Stormy and the Rains family have been in charge of protecting the earthly plane for many years. And you see Stormy, you'll see a little bit of her backstory as a child, but where you find Stormy in the beginning of this book one is in Las Vegas working with an individual named Giordani who runs a hotel called the Viridian Hotel. He is a world renowned magician. He is very rich, and he sees Stormy working as a street magician, sees she has some potential because he sees her doing magic. He doesn't understand or think that the magic that she's doing is real right away. He takes her in, gives her a job working with him as his magician's assistant. And then as he comes to find out that she is a little bit more than what she's saying she is, he tries to help her control her powers and use these powers for good. And so, in doing so, she finds out that her history goes back farther than what she believes, and that her family that she thought was missing before due to this incident with their enemies known as the Society of Sorcery, who have been tracking them and hunting them down and killing their family off systematically. She thought that her family had been killed by the society, but she finds out that her family is alive, and the society has kind of kept them separate. And so now she's trying to bring them back together so they can fight against this enemy who's been pursuing their family for years. So that's kind of like where you're seeing in the first book there. We're currently working on the second book in the series, and also there's a prequel we're working on called The Calm Before the Storm Presents the Saga of Maelstrom Reigns. And Maelstrom Reigns is Stormy's grandfather. And his adventure takes place in the mid to late 1800s, in kind of like the last years of the the black cowboy reign in the Western society. And he is an individual who is kind of like, I kind of model him in a Bass Reeves type of light, because he travels around hunting down supernatural threats, demons, monsters, things like that, and he takes them out before they end up doing harm and stuff to other people. And he has these 6 shooters that are imbued with magic, because each of the Reigns family, even though the world and everything they live in is created of magic, everything isn't magic. So there's normal people that live in this world and stuff like that, but Stormy and her family are known as homo mages, who are part human, part magic. And so they have certain things like Stormy. She has a necklace that glows green along with her eyes that help her channel and use her magic. um, Maelstrom, he has two six shooters and a shotgun, and these six shooters and the shotgun, when he holds them and he's gonna use them, they glow green. And the thing about it is, as you'll see when people read the comic book, you know, they'll notice that Maelstrom never has to load his weapons, and it's even addressed when they're like, "How come you never have to load your guns?" And he explains how the magic within him constantly keeps his weapon loaded. So he never has to waste time reloading as long as he has that power. So it's a lot of a little neat little tricks and little things I try to put in there that make the story different, make it stand out. I'm a big fan of promoting um, minority black individuals in the forefront of these types of stories, be it science fiction, be it horror, um, drama, whatever. I'm always trying to um, have a minority that's a hero, even if they have to try to find their way to get to that point. I try to have them as a hero. I have them as villains too, along with others, but I um, try to do that just because you look at the history of comics and what's been coming out on TV and everything, and then the lack of diversity with
A lot of
black individuals.
bullshit.
Yeah, the lack of diversity with heroes, and then when they do make a black person that's a hero, is either something wrong with them, or he's a sidekick, or they never get to have that full on, okay, this is my thing, I'm gonna go with it, and get the full run that you see other individuals get who aren't of color. So I'm still trying to see what these major studios are going to do, if they're going to make that move, or if it's just going to be upon the independent creators like myself and others who are in the field that are going to be bringing that to the forefront, because there's a lot of independent filmmakers now who are really pushing to see the black superhero, male and female, um, looking to see the uh, the positive black family images in film that we're not seeing all the time, because everything's a broken home, or somebody's moving weight or something like that. There's not too much that's in the line of positivity when we're always getting battered with all this negativity that we're seeing in the media and stuff like that, or what's going on. And a lot of times, they say life imitates art, but it's on the individuals that are making the art to cast a better light on what's being shown, or what they want their people to be shown as.
Hmm. Very understandable. So, how many years have you been doing comics and the things that you've been doing that's been coming up with?
Oh man, the music, that's ongoing. I've been doing that. I've been writing music since, I will say, '97, but I've been performing, recording, putting out music and everything since 2001. I got into the films and everything, writing films. I wrote my first script in 2016. So 2016 was my first step into script writing. Comic book writing came, I would say, a couple years after that. So maybe 2018, 2019, where I figured, man, I want to try to see what I can do in that, if I can develop a story and get that going. So like the comic books will really be my newest venture, but it's been um, a pretty positive one. The reception for the book has been really good. People are really anticipating and looking forward to the second issue. People are really liking what they're seeing from what I've showed in my teasers for the saga of Maelstrom Reigns. They're liking the artwork and everything, and are looking to see what the story is going to bring and how it combines with the Calm Before the Storm and and Stormy story. So they want to see how those go together, which they will see as we have. Um, I have Calm Before the Storm is a 4 story arc. We're working on book 2 right now. The Saga of Maelstrom Reigns is a 6 issue arc. All those issues are written. We're currently working on part 1 right now, or issue 1 right now. Then the Trinity faction, which is the group that's formed with Stormy and a few other of the heroes that come along within her universe. Um, and a couple of others that I have that are borrowed from a couple of other universes. I have a couple of other creators that have allowed me to use a couple of their characters within the storyline to build this team. So I don't want to reveal too much about that right now because it's still in the building process and things could change. But right now, the Trinity faction, we've kind of constructed the first story for it, and just kind of looking over it, seeing how we're feeling, if it's really going to make sense, and if we're going to move forward on that whole arc. How many stories that we're going to have in it. Um, on the film side, right now, if you haven't got a chance to check it out, you can go to our YouTube page, YouTube Black Monolith Films. We have our debut show, stop motion animation shows. My first step into the animated world. Working on a project. It's a proof of concept project with Marvel. So people have looked at it. They're like, "Oh, how'd you get the little Marvel logo, the stinger and stuff at the beginning and stuff like that? You can't." And I'm like, "Well, that's all with the proof of concept. Getting certain permissions to use certain things in the episode itself without them getting upset at you for doing it." So, episode 1 of Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It is on our YouTube channel right now. Please go check it out. We got close to 600 views so far on it. So, and it's been out about a month and a half. So, it's not too bad. Um, we're looking to get as many other eyes on it as possible as we get ready to release episode 2, which should be coming out. What it is today's Sunday. So my editor, I mean, not my editor, my animator talked with him earlier. He should be pushing to get the rest of the episode done today. So fingers crossed, I'll be able to get it to my editor and have him add the finishing touches so we can get ready to release it and let everyone watch episode 2, which everyone's been enjoying episode 1. They've been waiting. We have a lot of different characters. This is probably one of the biggest collection of superhero characters you would see on screen since Infinity War Endgame. Um, this storyline for Earth's Mightiest Heroes is um, not taken from any comic book, any film, any cartoon that you've seen through Marvel. This is pretty much a collection. This story is a collection from the comics, from the films, from the TV shows, from Disney Plus, everything I use to formulate this overall story and how these characters all come together. So basically, kind of what you're seeing in season 1 is, um, and for people who know Marvel and who have watched the films and everything, Nick Fury was off world in outer space for the last few years. And I kind of pick up where that left off. And having Nick Fury witnessed a cosmic threat that is taking place and can threaten Earth, he has to return to Earth and bring the Avengers back together to help defend Earth against this threat. Now, the Avengers, since the snap took place, because remember, this story is a lot of things in this and that happen in the film or in the comic book or whatever these individuals know about. So it's not like these things that happen in the MCU or in a comic book or things like that aren't real things to these characters. So a lot of people are trying to understand like how does that make sense. So let me explain it like this. People who have watched Endgame or Infinity War, they know black individuals like Black Widow died, Tony Stark died, stuff like that. This unit or in Captain America, he died and whatnot. In this universe, these individuals are still alive, but they have knowledge of the events that happen. So Tony Stark, he didn't die fighting Thanos, but he has knowledge of the fight. So in their universe, they fought, but they didn't die.
Right.
So um, uh, you have Nick Fury, who now has returned. He needs to gather the heroes back together. He's been gone for a while. He doesn't have Shield. The Avengers have been disbanded for these few years. He only has a few core members he contacts. He gets these core members back together. He has Sam Wilson. He has Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes. He has Hulk. Um, he has Ant Man. He gets them together. He has Black Widow. He's like, hey, there's a threat that's coming. It's going to threaten Earth. We need to get the Avengers back together so we can figure out what's going on. While the Avengers have been separated, naturally the villains have been doing their thing. The heroes have been taking care of business and stuff, but the villains have had a little bit more reign since the Avengers has not been a team like that. So the villains have kind of like started to work together, kind of unionized and formed this cabal. And individuals who have read the comic and stuff, you know what the cabal is. The cabal
Mm-hmm.
was when the villains all unionized and worked together to fight against the heroes. So the villains have now kind of unionized up and they're working together. The heroes now, knowing that they're lacking the full Avenger team, have to go and recruit other heroes they know in the city and beyond to see if they'll join the Avengers team to help them come up against this impending threat. So you'll see individuals like the Fantastic Four and the Avengers working together. You're going to see the X-Men and the Avengers working together. You're seeing various individuals from different uh, realities or different dimensions coming together. So uh, I have the Miles Morales from Into the Spider Verse. He's in this project due to the multiverse. You have Captain Carter. We have America Chavez, who people are going to be introduced to her in the Doctor Strange movie. Um, we have the various Spider-Men from all the different realities and everything and dimensions part of this. So the cast is or the character list is pretty huge. I think we have over 60 different characters um, in this project and at least uh, 29 to 30 different actors, voice actors, are part of this who are voicing multiple characters in this project. So it's a pretty big project. We're currently working on episode or season one, which is 6 episodes long for that season, and then season two, which me and my writing partner, Jeremy Stokes, we're currently writing now. We're on episode one or episode four of season two, and episode four is going to have 8 episodes. So we're giving them a little bit more in that one. Um, so we have a lot going on with that. There's been a lot of positivity and a lot of people who are into the stop motion world or into stop motion animation who are really interested in it, and especially with it being a superhero project. Um, which is a good genre to be in right now because that's the superheroes are pretty popular. So we've been doing pretty good, building the fan base, getting everybody interested and ready, and just ready to give them a good show.
Oh, that was a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of that. Hey, well, I mean, so tell us, where do you see this in 5 to maybe 10 to, I mean, where do you see this whole genre? Where do you see your all your projects going in 5 years?
Um, well, I'm still, right now, I'm still building the brand of Black Mala Films. We're still picking up productions. Um, Matter of fact, we have a production coming up in a couple months in not San Francisco, but Sacramento. So we'll be traveling up there and filming. So everyone out there, you need a film crew, you need something done. Yes, we can travel. Contact me. We can get to you. We can get it done. But I'm trying to build my company up. I'm trying to build a foundation within the city so people can come, film, learn how to write, uh, get their projects made, learn how to get their projects made, get in contact with people who can help them get their projects made. As I myself and my team continue to put out good content. Um, my city seems to have issue with individuals uh, getting popular, getting the fame, getting the money, and then leaving the city, and they don't really do anything for the city that is helping others to move to the next level. And if it is, it's only for very few. And there's a lot of talented individuals in the city. And if people were more in line with, you know, uh, man, I'm not going to be dealing with, oh, I don't work with him because he don't shoot with this camera, or I don't work with him because he don't record on this, or the last video quality he had wasn't here or there. That doesn't make any difference. If you guys are able to work together and put your minds together, he got a good idea for a project. You got the good film equipment built. Why not make it happen? It's not going to take no money out of your pocket, especially if y'all came together and y'all is putting that out to generate money. The only thing y'all can do is make it. So
Right, right.
it's a lot of people who are are nervous about the person that they help or the person that they work with getting on before them,
Hmm.
or you know getting that extra shine. It shouldn't matter if you guys are from the same city, you guys are working together, even if you're not from the same city. If you guys are working together, it shouldn't be none of that. Everyone should be looking at the next individual and saying, okay,
Just wrapping up.
this individual has resources. I have resources. What can we do to come together and build? So I'm really about trying to do that. Where you're at, if you're a writer, we can come up with a story together. We can build that story. If my team can't get it shot, maybe some people can get it shot, maybe we can sell it, do whatever. But there's a lot of things that can come through collaboration and not selling yourself short because you don't feel this individual is on the level you're on. If you don't feel this individual is on the level you're on, help them get there, because you don't know, he might not be on the level that you're on, but he have the next million idea. And because he wants to take time to say, hey, let me help you with this.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Damn it. Sorry about that, everybody. We will bring them back in. Hold on for a second. I didn't. I don't know what just happened. Um, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Hold up.
Oh, okay. Can you see me? We're back. I think we're good. Yes.
Sorry about that, everybody. Go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Back to what you were saying.
Yeah. So it's all about coming together, getting the building the team, no matter where you're at, and getting that project done. If you're able to, if you don't look at the person being on the same level, and give him the information, give him the tools he needs so he can get there. You might not be in the same city, but you can give him the tools, the sites, the things he needs to look into so he can get there, and at least he can know the right questions and who to ask. You know,
Right.
versus just
Right.
leaving wondering what's going on.
Right. And you
So
will.
that,
We deal with
that's
that in the industry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, that's my thing because when I was trying to get into the industry, and I didn't know anyone, that could help me get to the next step. There was someone who looked out for me, and there was someone who was like, "Hey, Trenell, I see you got some talent there. I see you're trying to find your way. Let me help you. Here talk to this dude. And they put me on one step that helped me go to another one. So I feel the same
Mm-hmm.
thing has to happen. I can't I couldn't continue to move forward and not do the same thing for the next person because it was done for me, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm all about helping, teaching because it ain't all about me. If I help the next guy and he makes it, I made it just as far as he did because I gave him that advice. So I
Right.
don't look at it as just, all about me. We if we're in the industry, we're all in it together.
Right. That's something that a lot of newcomers go through. You know, when they come into the industry, and that's with anything. A lot of the veterans come in, thinking that they're not on par with them, and that is bullshit. Because I
Mhm.
had to go through it, and a lot of guys that I grew up, came up in this industry with, and I've seen a lot of guys drop out and give up their dream because of how they was treated,
Mhm.
and that's not fucking cool. And but hold that thought. We got a one comment.
Oh, okay.
We
That's
got
what's
one
up.
comment with the power to the people, power to black power. There you go, there you go, there you go, everybody, black power. But anyway, anyway, as I was saying, you know, as a fact that we as people we have to come together and help each other, whether it is, whether or not we're if you realize it, we're on the same level if you think about it as human beings. Nobody is on no higher level, no lower level. We all was created equal. So ain't nobody dumber than the other, slower than the other, badder than the other. No, everybody's the same. And we as
Mhm.
people need to understand that. And like I said, coming into this industry, you're gonna have those things, and you're gonna have those assholish veterans out there that's trying to just give you fucking shit for nothing. And look, I've had to put a couple of people in the goddamn place because of what they was doing. Look, I tell you, nah, I have a lot of haters, and they know this. But anyway, it's not about me. Anyway, as I was saying, it's just the facts that people, a lot of people in the industry that's been deep in this industry, that's
Mhm.
think that they hot shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm good because I made some moves in this industry, nigga. Sorry about that. You still green in this industry. You still, you know what I'm saying? They're everywhere, you know what I'm saying? And the fact is, us as people, we as people need to stop trying to bash at each other and lift each other up. You know what I'm saying? And bring each other up because no matter what, you never know what can happen. Y'all can all
Mhm.
come up together and hey. You could become a billionaire because of how you helped him, or you're going to need that person along the way.
Exactly.
Burning bridges
Like,
ain't going to get you nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
mm-mm, mm-mm,
Burning a bridge
it's
ain't
better.
going to get you.
People in the industry, you gotta learn. If you're trying to get into the industry, regardless if it's music, film, whatever. You're gonna be a director. You're gonna be a writer. You're gonna be whatever. But you're also gonna be an architect because you gotta learn how to build them bridges. And
Exactly. And
once you get those bridges built, you got to maintain them. It ain't like you build
exactly.
it and it's just it's all weatherproof. You got to go
Yeah.
back from time and put some fresh paint and everything and make it look nice. And that way, people are like, okay, he's respecting it. He's respecting the bridge, and then they'll respect you and they'll want to come back and work with you. So
Right.
you
Hold,
want to
but
keep
hold,
those
hold,
doors.
hold, hold, hold. Oh, let me get something out. Let me get something out. Hold on
Yeah,
for a second.
yeah.
Hold on for a second. That don't mean kissing nobody ass, and that don't mean ride no damn body because they good. They're human just like us. That don't mean kiss nobody ass. That does not mean be no ass kisser. Please don't take that way. Please do not do it. I can't
Mm,
stand the
yeah.
ass kisser. I'm sorry. I just
Nah,
I
you don't you
can't.
don't you don't
You know,
don't brown nose your way to the top.
to get where you want to be.
Yeah. You
Shit.
want you want to
Uh,
and everywhere look at what's going on. People's past now is coming back to haunt them. You want to make sure that the way you came into the industry and how you set yourself up is clean. So later on, they ain't trying to destroy you and take all your money when they're trying to bring up old information saying, oh, he said this 10 years ago, or he touched who, or he did what. You got to remember you in the age where everyone's watching and everyone remembers everything. So look at what you're doing. Look at the people you're around. Look at how you're treating other people. Because if you're doing things that's messed up and underhanded and stuff now, when you get on, there's gonna be someone that remembers that, and they're gonna bring it up. And guess what they're coming for? Your pockets. So,
hmm
you
And
know,
that's
look at the people. You don't need to kiss no ass, like I said. You don't need to do none of that. But you need to make sure that your bridges that you're building, that you're keeping things cool, so that way you're able to come across, go back, do what you need to do, work with whoever you need to work with, and no one's saying anything about you. No one's got nothing to say behind your back except for positive things. And you don't have to worry about these people trying to set you down, set you up later. Now, granted, you're gonna have them. You're gonna have them regardless, but you're less likely to have them from the people closest to you if you're working with a circle of individuals you can trust, you're working with individuals who have seen the same goal as you, you're working with individuals that you haven't burnt in the past, so they have reasons to be like, okay, I'm gonna wait till he gets to this point, then I'm gonna get him. So you're setting yourself up to be around other individuals who aren't around shady individuals, so you can keep yourself in a good light. Because a lot of people you'll get screwed by individuals you deal with. You're like, oh,
right.
so and so was my friend, and then he brought so and so around, and this dude had shooters with him, and blah blah blah. So it's like the people that you associate with, if they're associating with individuals who ain't, doing the right thing, that could hurt you as well. So keep your bridges. Don't burn your bridges, but make sure the people on the other side of the bridge are good people as well. You don't want to be going back and forth and setting yourself up or livelihood and everything because you made a bad decision doing some other thing or interacting with individuals who are now cost you money later on. So
Right. And Kristen Shrimstead said they are everywhere. So it's
yeah,
all that is burning bridges. Of course, of course. And that's why I said, man, to be honest, man, like if you have a problem with somebody and y'all and it's just small, please try to reconcile that shit, man. Cause try to at least reconcile it. If it's too big, then fuck it. But try to reconcile it as much as you can because, like I said, you ain't got to be no bitch or nothing, no simp ass nigga. But just be who you are. Don't stand for no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? but at least be a bigger man or be the bigger person, and because that'll show you in a different light than But also the people who's watching, you know what I'm saying, if they not helping you, if the people watching it's not helping you, then they are against you most of the time. So, you know what I'm saying? I say fuck what they got to say and do your thing, you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh
So
yeah.
that's why I said do your thing,
Oh
you know what I'm saying? If the people watching you
yeah.
ain't rooting for you, then fuck them. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep it a
Yeah.
G, you know what I'm saying? Keep it a
If they,
bean.
yeah, they, if they're not riding with you, they're just an obstacle. So what they eat don't make you shit. So you got to
Exactly.
worry about what you eating, so you can shit off what you eat. So
Exactly. And
focus, get yourself right, because it's a lot of people. They will be pointing out your flaws and what you're doing wrong, but they got a lot of flaws on their end as well. So
exactly. And the thing
keep.
about it is it's like that in the industry, man. And it's like, to be honest with you, man, like that is what I hate about the industry, because you can't just be you. Like you can't just be you. You can't just do what you want to do. It's always somebody that's like, oh, always it's always a troll, always around the corner. There's always somebody that's willing to step out their way just to piss you off. Like, come
Mhm.
on, man. Like you did that just because you was miserable. And there's a lot of miserable motherfuckers in the industry.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
being
yeah.
honest. A
Oh
lot of
yeah.
miserable fuckers. You know what I'm saying? And this is the honest truth, man. And people need to understand that you gotta have thick skin, and you gotta be able to take the hits and roll with and start punching as well. Because when I first came in the industry, shit, I got hit with so many hits, but what I'm saying, I learned to fight back even harder. You know what I'm saying, and you gotta have confidence in this industry. You gotta
Mhm.
fucking have confidence, because if you don't have confidence, you ain't got shit. Because if you got confidence, people will see that and they will buy your product and they will love your confidence and shit. Damn right. Look at me. I got all that confidence. You damn skippy. But anyway, as I was saying, it's not about me, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just using me as an example, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how you're supposed to carry yourself. You're supposed to carry yourself like you the shit, like you got it going on. You got to have that
Mhm.
that that ick factor, that swag that go with your writing, that swag that
That,
go
that's
with your
going
art.
that's going to carry you a long way. I always tell people,
Exactly.
I'm the best man here until the best man get here, and I ain't seen him walk in yet. So
Exactly.
as long as I can, keep I walk in keeping that frame of mind and everything, I can keep moving forward, because like I said, there's a lot of people out there that's trying to tear you down, trying to be weight to hold you back and everything from where you're trying to go. Because it could be jealousy, they could be seeing where you're at and wishing they were there, and so they're not. So they're like, man, let me do what I can to tear them down. It could be just because they just they they just got something against it. Something happened to them, or something happened involving that with someone else, and now they're against it. Whoever else does it, they're and it's successful, they're against it. Whatever the reason is, they have that reason. They're entitled to their opinion, but it's
Right.
on you to keep moving. Struggle comes in the process, but you still got to hustle. I
Exactly.
tell
Overcoming
people,
adversity. Yep.
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I'm out here, I'm grinding like a bad clutch. So
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
telling people, get out here, keep them moving. There's no idea, if you're in the industry, especially you're in the film industry, there's no idea that's a bad one. There's a film out there about a fucking tire that rolls around killing people. A tire. So if someone can make that, you can make whatever film you want to make. You know,
hmm
there's a film about a damn pastor that turns into a dinosaur and has sex with nuns and shit like that and fights crime. If someone can make a movie like that, you can make your movie. Don't be scared
exactly.
because someone looks at a project or hears your idea and there's like, oh no, that don't sound good. That's their opinion. That might not be the mode. That might not be what they like. But there's always a market.
Exactly.
There's always a market for what you
Exactly.
want. You need to find your
Exactly.
demographic, find your people, and push your product to them. They're going to be the ones that your fan base. They're going to give you that cult following. They're going to be the ones that back you up, down, left, right, east, west, wherever you're at. They're there with you, and that's what.
Whoa. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. Exactly what I was just talking about. Every time I said it's the followers that you want. You don't want no fucking fans because fans will turn against you when they hear something bad about you. And they
Mm-hmm,
will, when you do something they don't like, they will run and they will take off. They've done
mm-hmm.
it to all all of the figures in the history. Nigga, when people didn't like what Jesus said, what happened? They ran, right?
Turn
When
on.
people didn't like what Gandhi said, they ran. Come on, man. Hey, let's tell the truth. Because at the end of
Mhm.
the day, nobody, and I say nobody, hates a fan more than I do. Because like, if you can't ride with me when I'm down, don't ride with me when I'm up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, I love me a follower. I love a follower that believes in me, that stands with me even when I can't stand. Believe in me when I don't believe in myself. That's what you need. You need people that's
Mm-hmm.
going to ride with you and carry you. That they'll carry you when you down. You carry them when they down. Walk
Exactly.
with them when they can't walk. Walk with you shit like that, man. And that's in this industry in this world today. Nobody is doing that. Not many people is doing that because everybody's for their fucking self. Love has grown cold and nobody give a fuck anymore. And I don't like that. I can't stand that shit. Like you willing to take another man down because you want to rise up. Why not rise up together? Why not stand together
Yep.
and be a force to be reckoned with, man. Take down the powers that be. Oh, Jesus Lord, man.
Mm-hmm.
Take down the powers that be with the power that two brothers have together. Come on,
And
man.
it's all about that. It's all about the movement. You know, people got to get behind the movement. People gotta not just get behind it and just say the words, but you got to get behind it, have the actions, have the meaningfulness behind it. So they're understanding. You know, it's an alliance that needs to be built. Whether you're in the entertainment
Hmm.
industry or not, you know, it's an alliance because the only way we're going to be able to get ourselves in that next level is if we get ourselves to that next level. We can't wait for the next man to help us get there. We can't wait for the white man to do this or anyone else. We as a people have to help our own people get to that next level. And even if there's
Exactly.
other people who want to join in, okay, you want to help the movement, okay, that's fine. But it first starts with our own people getting in line and agreeing and not having any egos come into play. Because if everyone's like, oh, we all gonna make it, you can't say we all gonna make it while you hate on the next man trying to make it. That's I don't see how that makes sense. You're saying we're all gonna do it, but not that guy. Like, no, if you all
Exactly.
if we're all gonna make it, we all gonna make it. It shouldn't be, oh, we all gonna make it, but not Henry over there. Fuck that nigga. I don't like him. Like, no, it's everyone. Because if everyone made it, ain't no one got no issues, ain't no one got no problems. Everyone can take care of themselves, and everyone can do what they need to and what they want to without having to worry about nothing. And if we're able to
Exactly.
do that as a community in the film industry, in the music industry, wherever, think how much more can be created because now there's a pipeline for African American actors to come in, get in African American projects, and then expand and go on from there. There's a pipeline for R&B singers or for rappers to get the guidance and everything they need so they don't get into the industry young and get absorbed into the drugs, into the alcohol, and then end up getting killed at an early age or lose everything over stupid decisions and stuff like that. Having all these things taught to these individuals before or while they're getting, well, I would even say before they get all this money and everything put in front of their face, there should be some sort of indoctrination process where, okay, man, we want to bring this guy in. He's very talented. Okay, let's have him go through a course and get him set up so he knows and understands how to use his money, how to file his taxes, You know, how
The
to do all this stuff that a lot of them
hmm
don't know how to do, and they end up believing in someone else, and then they get screwed. Look at West,
exactly, and
as
that's
old
what
as
you
Wesley
call
is.
wolves.
As old as Wesley Snipes was, he should have known you should be checking your taxes, not just relying on that white man to do your work, and you don't check it. And then what happened? They knocking on his door saying, "Oh, you owe all this money in taxes because you wasn't checking your boy. He's skimming money off the top." So, you everyone in the industry, if you're getting in, all that stuff, it needs to be explained to you. My son, my 11-year-old son, he just got signed to a casting agency, so he's going to be acting soon. And me and my wife were trying to discuss with him, get ready with him, like, hey, these are some of the things you're going to be having to deal with. These are some of the things you're going to come across. These are some of the things you have to get ready for, so he can be mentally ready because he's 11 going into this industry. And kids at that age, they're very impressionable. They're there's all that kind of stuff is cool to them. Everything is new, everything is
Hmm
exciting. And so being around all these people, getting to do and say adult things and do stuff like that, that'll start making them feel like they're more and more adult. Then next thing you know, they're getting offered drugs or doing this, that, whatever, and all these things are happening to them at a young age. And so
All right, man.
if the people in the industry would take a second to be like, hey, this person's talented, but I want to make sure I'm keeping them safe. Let's make sure they understand this. Let's make sure they understand that. Okay, let's show them this. Okay, they got that. Okay, hey, let's get you working now. So that way they're able to keep the talent, because a lot of times it seems like that they sign these people, like especially with rappers. They sign these rappers. They know these rappers have trouble or history of people on the street, but they don't care. They get this money and stuff from them. This dude goes out here and gets shot the next day and gets killed. They're still making money off this guy's music while their family is burying him. They're not worried that or looking out for the fact that, hey, okay, man, you're in the streets, you have these issues. What can we do to get this worked out? So that way you can be doing tours, you can go out and make your money and not be scared of people running up on you trying to shoot you because of
Right,
you said 10 years ago. you know. So
right,
these things can be worked out so companies can keep their artists longer, not lose them to gang violence and getting shot out on the street and everything. In the film industry, they're able to keep their actors longer because the young actors aren't succumbing to drug use and everything else and falling off and everything. And
right,
we're able to sustain, especially with our people, we're able to sustain ourselves in these industries and make a name.
right. And it's you have a lot of vultures. You like have a lot of fucking wolves that's waiting for a naive person to come up and be desperate enough to fall for anything. And you
Mm-hmm.
have them motherfuckers up in there
Oh
that'll be
yeah.
desperate enough to fall to just take anything for a little bit of fame, and they caught up
Mm-hmm.
in the and getting doing some shit that they ain't got no business doing in these mansion parties, and and these parties doing some strange things for change, if you
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean.
Oh yeah.
But as we said, as I'm saying, I'm not saying that they participate, but and if you're coming into the industry with a drug problem, they're gonna use that. They don't use that to get what they want, and that's like little beautiful girls. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful women. They they use your beauty. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Use your beauty to get what they want. And and like I see a lot of people, you know, fall for that. And it's in the industry, comic book industry. I have a lot of friends that's in the comic book industry, and they have they don't have the confidence to do the stuff that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they get so battered, you know what I'm saying? Because it started in the beginning of the industry and coming into the industry, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
entertainment, it's entertainment. If you're not coming in there with confidence, nigga, you're gonna fall. You know what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
don't have confidence because confidence brings everything. You know what I'm saying? but you got to be ready for the war because there's a war coming too. You know what I'm saying? There's yeah, you got to be ready to kick some ass and because you're going to have to put people in their place. You're going to have to let people know don't step over that line, you know.
Yeah.
And with great success come great responsibility. And you know, hey man, that's why I said I'm always ready for the fight. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say I win every single time, no matter what they do to try to stop you. Negative, positive, negatively, positively. It's always going to come out in your favor. Always, if you believe that way. You know what I'm saying? If you believe that way, but if you think negative, you're going to get negative. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like it's the fight. You know what I'm saying? You got to knock them out before they knock you out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's what it's all about.
Or,
But
or, or at least learn the
but
footwork long enough to last in the ring enough rounds to let them get tired out. So then that way you can land that winning blow. Yeah, sometimes
exactly, and when
it's stamina.
exactly
People, we gotta learn endurance. A lot of times we want to get in and get the quick money. It's like, oh man, I want to get in and get this million right quick, whatever, and they don't want to take the time to learn the long game. You got to understand,
right,
this industry is about longevity. You can make a million, but after taxes, a million is only $650,000. So
right,
you don't really have $1 million. So you have to look at, okay, man, I gotta keep if I'm making $1 million a film and I'm only taking home $650,000, and my rent is this, my cars is this, my children's expenses is this, my wife is this, bodyguards, hair, blah blah blah, and I'm like, man, okay, so now I only got $50,000. So you got to keep working. You got to make sure that you got income coming in, or you're one of the best actors in the industry, getting $20 million a movie, so you can make sure you're paying for all that sort of stuff. So
yeah. This is
you,
industry. This is industry
you,
101,
you,
entertainment.
you got to understand, don't step in here and let all the flashiness and everything and all these quick talking and numbers like, oh, we'll give you an advance of this. A lot of times that advance comes out your check. They're giving you an advance of your own money. So don't let them, come into you and say, oh, we're going to give you $100,000 advance. And then you're going to get this amount of money when this gets complete. And then when it gets complete and you're $100,000 short, and you're like, what happened? And I'm like, oh, yeah, we gave you that money in the advance. And you sitting there thinking that advance is a totally separate thing. So remember, they're going to give fancy wording. They're going to give all these different types of lawyer jargon and stuff where they think you don't understand. That's why it's good to educate yourself, figure
And it's
out. Yeah,
also sorry about that. Sorry about that.
yeah, yeah.
Also, see when it comes to the in the industry, when it comes to hip hop and all that shit, you do notice a lot of people, a lot of rappers in the industry don't know what the fuck they signing. A lot of them don't know what they signing. You know that half of that money that they get that advance, that's from the fucking label. That's not their money.
Mm-hmm.
That's from the label. So you got to pay that back. That's why a lot of rappers are going independent. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And that's why when you sign on to these labels, you got to know what you're signing because you could be getting your masters taken away. That's your whole catalog, and you could be getting your royalties taken away, cut in half. You could be thinking you're making, I say, $1 million off a record, right? You double platinum, nigga. Psh, you getting half of that, not even half. And that's when it comes to all entertainment. You got to know what you're signing, and you got to be able to. You have to have the gift of gab, and you got to closed mouth don't get fed. You got to make sure that they're under the fire, not you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Their ass is on the fire. If they sign this contract or you sign this contract, nigga, you got to make sure that you're not going to get fucked. You know what I'm saying? You got to look out for your goddamn self when it comes to signing contracts because I'm telling you, that's why nah, man, I learned my lesson because dealing with people Coming into the industry, they will take advantage of you. You know what I mean? You tell them your story, and that's what I learned to not tell everybody what I'm doing. Because when you learn to tell not when you learn not to tell people what you're doing, they don't have no fucking fuel or bullets to shoot at your ass.
Mm-hmm.
They can't hinder it, they can't stop it, they can't do nothing because they got nothing to shoot at you with. No ammo, you know. And that's what I learned, man. And shit, a lot of that shit you gotta do you gotta roll with the punches. If you don't roll with the punches, you're gonna get knocked out
Oh yeah.
for the
Oh
count.
yeah.
So we ran out of time, everybody.
Man.
Hey, would you go? But I'm gonna give you a 60-second time to say what you want to say to the people. Give them advice on some shit on some
Oh
shit.
man. My advice is stay motivated, stay active, find people in the community that are in the same realm as you, join with them, build, form, collaborate, get with people outside of areas, bounce ideas off each other. All that stuff is good. That's the only way you're going to be able to build. You can't build just with your own mind. You can imagine, but it takes a whole community of working together to build something. No architect just draws the picture, then goes and starts hammering everything and does it himself. He got a whole team that builds it. So find your team, build, work, grow. Holla at me. I'm always here.
And that's all. That's all we have for y'all today. Hey, y'all stay up, stay cool, and stay swagnificent like your boy. You know. Hey, this is the In Your Face show. Man. This is the In Your Face show. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Dang.